Hello everyone, welcome back to Bombe. In between last episode and this one, we've gotten enough stuff going in this. Oh, I guess this I didn't know it during the last video, but you guys I guess did because of the title, which was like new idea unlocks thousands of new levels or finishes thousands of new levels or something like that. Solves thousands of new puzzles. The ideas that we put in the last video. Of which there were not all that many, like maybe just down here, were enough to actually solve thousands more puzzles, clearing up a ton of space in several of these areas, getting started in the infinite area. And anyway, so I decided to take all of like what I have here and just replace all the rules in regular mode with the rules I learned in 3-region mode. I could have merged them, but like most of the rules here suck. So there's a couple things where like probably there's a rule or two here that solve a level that we can't solve in another one, but whatever, it's fine. The point is I ran this and unlocked a bunch of new things, new toys to play with. One thing is we have pi now. I've barely used 3 variables. I think only once. I don't really have any use cases in mind for 4 variables, but there probably are some. Also, I can change how colorful the grid is. I think I like it gray, but that's fine. Nice to know. And rules. So actually, let's go back to 3-region mode where we actually play the game. Rules now have a priority setting, which I guess means, you know, the highest priority ones are going to go first. And so you could make the trashing rules that are like, oh, you know, if you have 2 clues that give the same information, then trash. Or if you have 1 clue that gives like strictly more information, or you just like it better, trash the other one. You could make that go after to make sure that, like, I don't know, we have something, or we used to have something that's like, oh, you know, if you have, you know, a 1 or 2, then, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Anyway, we have priority. I'm not sure what I'm going to use that for either. But, sort of more interestingly, along the lines of actual puzzles, I was looking through what puzzles we haven't solved this? That's funny. This looks very easy. I wanted to look, though, at, I think, this one. Because once you ask this for a hint... No, not that hint. This. There's a kind of, like... There's just more parity lessons to be had, right? These 2, which are both x plus 2k, where x in this case is 0... they share this area. Therefore, they have the same parity in this general area. And so the parts where they don't overlap must also have the same parity for their whole regions to be correct. So we can just say, I don't care at all about the sizes of any of these regions. But if we have an x plus 2k... and I don't think we can involve a y at all here, because, like, I would like to be able to say, oh, you know, x plus 2k or x plus 2 plus 2k are kind of the same. I think we're going to have to start, like, adding some more duplicate rule. Oops, I'll do that. Like, suppose I had, like, x plus 4 plus 2k here. That is the kind of thing where you could say, oh, well, that's also x plus 2 plus 2k and also x plus 2k, and then find matches when you get these overlap. We'll be adding some kind of useless regions, but we can, like, hide the ones that aren't interesting and only use them for rules and not for manual hint checking. Anyway, the point is, in this case, we can say that the is this right? I think so. Yeah. So ignoring the size of their overlap, if they have any overlap, this makes me a little nervous, actually. Because now any group of even parity cells, even perhaps if they don't overlap, are going to create a new region that is their combination, right? And that just might not matter. So let's be a little bit more discerning and say, don't trigger this unless they at least overlap, right? And I think don't do it unless there's also, like... No, that's not correct. I mean, it is correct. I could say don't do it unless there's some space in each of them. But then I'd be missing out on some opportunities where, like, one of them is contained within the other. But I think that's probably already handled. I don't know. Anyway, let's write that rule. Great. So we solved one of these. Anything going on in here that looks interesting? Oh, I remember this one, and I have no idea what to do about it. And likewise here. My insights on this puzzle are not going to help here. Hey, we solved this one. Cool. Oops, I meant to say hint. Yeah, so exactly. This is a case I was just talking about where there's a 2k contained within a 2 plus 2k. And the rule we just wrote doesn't match, but it could, right? We know this has an odd parity. Excuse me, an even parity. Because these two have the same parity. And so this is, like, the same. So what I'd like to do is anytime I have an x plus 2 plus 2k in any region, I would like to also make it an x plus 2k. Great. Let's clear out all this garbage. Is this any good? And I could set low... I think I really should actually set pretty low priority on this rule. Oh, well, wait. Do I... Like, because I don't want to spew out tons of regions like this unless parity is going to be important. And I think that's true also for the one I just added before that. This one, I'd like to be low priority because I'm just worried. That's all. It'll still trigger eventually. But I don't want to spew out zillions of regions if they're not going to do anything. So what's the deal here? It's saying we can tell that this presumably can't be a mine, because if it had to be a mine, that would be difficult. If this were a mine, there'd be nothing here. Yeah. This is obviously no good. But so, like, if this said 2 or less, it would be easy. We would just solve it instantly, right? I think. Maybe? We could there be a mine here if this were 2 or less? I mean, definitely not, right? Well, wait, why not? If there were a mine here, remind me what the problem would be? The problem would be that these would all be empty, which means for this to not be 2, it needs a mine here, but it needs to not have a mine here, but this needs a mine here to have anything in its region. Out of curiosity, how many people have solved the rules I'm stuck on in here? These are ranked difficult for the region, so I mean that's something. Wait, which one was I working on? It was this one, right? Maybe? Oh, we solved some more of these. Cool. Yeah. Now it looks familiar, now that some of the excess rules are going away. It found me a different clue this time. Okay. And this has an x plus 2k in it, which we've been sort of working on. So maybe that's interesting. This, if there can only be at most 1 here and at most 1 here, then this 2 plus 2k can't fit 1 there, right? Because there's not room for a second. So, I guess I have 2 questions. I guess I have 1 question. Why is it telling me only about that I can do something with this square when obviously I can do something with this one as well? Like, I don't even need this clue, right? Hint. It thinks I can't do anything, but I can. No. I see. I can't tell that there's a mine here. Because this is 1 or fewer. Sorry, I can't tell that there's no mine here. There could be 1 here and 1 here, and then there'd be no room for 1 there. But there also could be none there. 1 here and 1 here. But what I can tell is that this is a region of size 2, not any bigger. Right, so I can obviously, if I wanted to, let's just confirm that I'm right about this. Get rid of x. This is just a region of size 2. Yes, you can tell that. So, that would be very useful to know, because then my thing that says, oh, it's a region of size 2, would probably do something. Maybe. Maybe not. But it would simplify the puzzle at least. So, I'm trying to think about some different approaches to this. One approach, which seems very general but a little bit region explosion-y, is I could just combine these 2 regions of 1 or fewer and into a single region of 2 or fewer. And then this will overlap with something that says region 2 or fewer, and like there will be some rules that can be based on that. The problem is that seems like that would generate a zillion regions, right? I mean, I don't know. Let's try this. Anytime you have a region that is X or fewer, and another region that is Y or fewer, and do I care if they ever touch? I do care if they ever touch. And let's say they each have a non-zero overlap with this other region. Then it's worth the investment, sort of, to... actually, I should... No, wait. It's important that they don't overlap outside of this either. So this should say 0 as well. Then you can combine them into an X plus Y or fewer region. Like that. And I mean, you could include these zeros as well. It's fine. And that'll make a 2 or fewer region here, which is very large. But now we can hide these. And I'm a little surprised we don't have a region that cares about this, right? Okay, we need some variables here. If there's an X plus 2K region, don't really care how much is out there, and an X, oh, whoops, I left a Y in there. And an X or fewer region, then we can't actually just subtract off 2 here, can we? Because I could say this is, you know, a 2K region. And that'll work because it's, you know, size 1 will determine, oh, it must be 0, it must be empty, right? Or wait, is this even true? Am I still wrong about this? I am, right? If yeah, we can only fit at most 2 of our mines in here, but there could be just 1, meaning this could be a mine. Okay, let's take that rule that we literally just made. It says it's triggered 0 times. That doesn't seem right. Over here it says 2. Here it says 0. Maybe this only counts finished levels? Anyway, now that I have this rule, I think I should, like, pause it. Just don't run that rule. Because I worry that it's making regions that won't do anything. I don't know. I guess until I see it blowing up, maybe I should just let it run. Sure. Low priority, though. I don't know, like, what the general principle behind this configuration is. Obviously, as I said earlier, I understand there can't be a mine here, and I understand why. And I could just select these 3 regions and make that a rule. But figuring out where to generalize it so that it solves more puzzles than just this one is what I always want to do before writing down a rule. By the way, what does this do again? Go to rule constructor. Okay, whatever. The not to, like, I just have very weak tools for dealing with negation clues right now. So I need to build up some general tools for working with them. But I don't totally understand what they are, like what I want them to be. I don't know. I think I have to leave this for now. Like, yes, I can solve it, but the solution is miserable. Okay, got another one of these. This one looks small. Okay. Oh, I don't like what the row clues do when you zoom. I get that it makes sense. They actually do keep track of the row and column or whatever they're in, but it's not really legible anyway. This little spider web here is kind of cute, right? This 2K basically means either both of these or neither, right? And if neither, then this has to be a mine. In which case these guys are all discernible. Like, well, if neither, we can open both of these 3s, right? But also if both, we can open both of these 3s, because this, like, right? Is there... Yeah, there's not really the clue I want. The clue that I want is one that says 1 or more between these 2. It's clearly there and implied by what we have, but we don't have a rule that automatically derives it. We should be able to, right? I'm just always worried that it'll make too many regions, because I had that one nightmare once where I was just making thousands of regions that did nothing. But if I had that, it would sort of be, oh, well, like, there's a one or more here and a one or fewer here. And this colliding with one of those, like, makes... at most one of these, in a way, right? Like, it makes exactly one in here. Maybe I don't even need this rule at all. I would click a mine, but to learn something new, I don't think I need that. I think... like, look at these two squares. If this is a mine, then this is empty, right? Clearly. Because this is also a mine. But if this is 0, then this is empty. So what we can say between these two regions... ignoring the sizes of these things, as long as there's an overlap of one or more, I think. Well, no. As long as there's room for... one or fewer out here, then in some sense there's either a mine here and therefore none here, or no mine here and therefore, like, either way there's at most one in this region, right, where the two intersect. Yeah. And that would get us where we need to be. Now, this seems like a useful thing to generalize somehow. Throw in some more variables somewhere, but I don't know where. And does the size of this matter? It doesn't. That's kind of a surprise. But, like, if I said... well, I guess anything I say will work because a question mark works. But why? Okay, so if I said to this, though, like... x plus 2k, this is still true. Right, because this is strictly more limiting, in a way? So I guess the boundary I should be trying to push is turning this one or fewer into an x or fewer. I think. So if there's only room... I don't know. Maybe I just won't. Maybe I'll just leave this as is, huh? Why is this true, though? Well, hang on. This doesn't use any information. I don't want... this isn't what I want to say. Okay, put these regions back to the sizes they actually were. What I meant to say is that there's one or fewer here. And that's not true. No, 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 no. Not there. Here. There we go. So we already know there's one or fewer anywhere inside this region. So for example, the overlap also obviously can't have one or fewer. It must have one or fewer. Because that's just an even smaller part of this. It's more restrictive. No, it's less restrictive. More? I don't know. Anyway. This is what I meant to write. And now the size of this region does matter, like I thought it would. One or fewer is what we can write there. And that's where I want to generalize this some more to get more use out of this. 2k is already pretty general. You can change it to like x plus 2k if you need to match it with a different x, but it's not useful to introduce an x here just to generalize. Because any region that's x plus 2k... Well, no, I guess that's not true. Because 1 plus 2k is different from 2k. So maybe we need a different version of this rule for 1 plus 2k. So... And I mean, maybe we could improve this, right? If this were, I mean... Let's say that this were, I don't know if this is going to work, x plus 2k. And then instead of saying there's one or fewer here, one or fewer outside, we would be saying like x plus 1 or fewer, right? And then we'd also have to change the size of this to x plus 1 or fewer. Doesn't work. And then this, I guess, would also be x plus 1 or fewer. No good, though. So, I think... What happened to my x plus 2k? That was supposed to go here, I think. So, I don't know. This doesn't work. I'm just going to submit this rule. I'm sure there's a more general form out there somewhere. But I'm happy to have a new rule that solves a new puzzle. What is happening here? There's an odd number here. Shouldn't this 468 have turned into just a 46? There it is. Make that visible. Make that invisible. Hint me again. It's still solvable. Well, wait a minute. I don't need this either, right? I mean, I guess I might, but in order to derive something new and useful, shouldn't this 4-6 just be a 4? Because there's this one region, one or fewer region that it overlaps with? Am I crazy? Is there a hidden 4 in this area? There shouldn't be. There's not a trashed 4. No. Just for some reason, this doesn't... Huh. Okay, well that's going to be hopefully productive. In... I almost wonder if I could use 3 variables usefully for this to abstract over the size both of this set and the size of their overlap. So if there's... If... I mean, I guess we're going to find, by the way, that once we've reduced this to a 4, we still can't click on anything, because hint is telling us that without this clue, we can't click on anything. But we'll get a new region, and maybe that region will combine with another clue to click that the hint isn't showing us right now to click on this. Probably not. But I think it's important to turn this into a 4. That obviously is going to improve future solves. How do we do this in general? If there's... I mean, okay, we can write a fairly simple version of this first. Ah! What? Cancel. I clicked on this accidentally, I guess, which showed me a region, presumably. If I wanted to click this. Is a region of size x or x plus 2? And a... let's say y or fewer. I'll see if I can arrange that. And the size of the remainder is what? Less than x plus 2 minus y? Does that make any sense? So we can't write x plus 2 minus y. But we can choose this to be x plus y, and then have x be 3, right? In our example. So x... wait, I thought I wrote here... yeah, x plus y plus 2. That's correct. It's just so hard to see. Oh, I think it didn't actually remember my resizing the window from last time. Maybe I'll put in a feature request. This is a little more readable now. Or not last time, a while ago. So in this case, we're choosing y is 1 and x is 3. So the remainder of this, if there's not enough room, like if you add together y and x, and what? Is there a 1 in there somewhere? Like, okay. The question, we're trying to prove that this region can't be size x plus y plus 2. If only y of them can go here, then if there are less than x plus 2 outside, yes, that's the easy way to think about it. Less than x plus 2, which is x plus 1 or fewer, here. Oops. X plus 1 or fewer here. Then the region is actually size x plus y. Good. So now this 4, 6 should turn into a 4. Ah! There's 1,000 regions. Did that rule trigger a bunch of times here? No. In fact, oh, well, hang on. Here's this 4 region. Show me the rule that made you. It only triggered once in this level. I don't know where all this other shit came from then. But maybe it was all here before I clicked hint? I'm not sure. So the same thing is here. But now I can hide this 4, 6. Actually, hang on. Shouldn't I have a rule that does that automatically? Maybe I was accidentally looking at hidden rules or something. I don't know. Anyway, I should have a rule, surely, that hides that. Should I not? Refresh. It is hidden. The 4 or 6 is gone. Okay. So it's done a ton of things here somehow. I'm kind of worried about how much we've done. Like, this rule triggered a lot of times. And so did this one, and it only cleared 1 cell. So how much has this cleared ever? I mean, a non-zero number. Why did adding that one rule cause this to trigger a zillion more times? I'm not sure. Also, I still don't totally understand this rule that I wrote. Why does this... It says this y plus 1. I know it's a psi. It's not phi, right? Yeah, this is psi. Y plus 1 or fewer. This x plus, the point of there being a 0 here is that it has to put at least one of its mines, no, all of its mines, into one of these two regions, perhaps both. And it could put all of them here even, right? Ah. It could put all of them here. And I was thinking, well, in that case, it hasn't put any of them into this gamma or this y region. So why does this rule work? Why aren't there still y plus 1 or fewer here? How did we suddenly prove there are y or fewer? Because if all of them go from this, if all of the x's from here go into this one region, then there's not space for any more here, and therefore this is 0. Huh. So that's why, I guess, we can say, like, shrink the size of this region. But okay, I mean, I don't know. Right now, the huge number of regions is not yet a problem. It just feels unclean. Ah, this is much better. Thank you for this hint. I think this is basically the inverse of a rule that I wrote recently, where, like, instead of a 2k, we have a 1 plus 2k, right? What is that rule exactly? Here. And instead of a 1 or fewer, I guess we have a 1 or more. So I don't think I want this clue. Do I? There's at least one in here. Well, no, hang on. I don't need this clue. Get out of here. These two together are much closer in relation to this, right? There's a 1 or fewer and a 2k, and that lets me shrink the size of the 1 or fewer region. Or expand it, rather, which is what you want. Now I have a 1 or fewer clue and a 1 plus 2k. And I think, again, I don't actually want any variables here. Actually, what are the constraints here? I said if there's 1 or fewer in this area. That seems right. Like, I guess it's a sort of different rule. If I have an x plus 2k region, oops, what am I doing? An x plus 2k region and an x or fewer region. Not really caring about how much this goes out. Nor that, I think. If there is one or fewer space outside. Oh no, this doesn't work. Because of x's, I think. Or wait, it does. Does this make it a size X region? No. Well, yeah. Because we've shown there isn't room outside for a 2K. This is... hang on. Didn't I just write something too specific here? Because, look at this. If... well... no, that's dumb. I was thinking that, like, if this overlaps with any region, and there's room for at most one out here, then what's left must be... but, like, that doesn't make any sense. So, okay, try again. I have an X plus 2K region, and it overlaps with an at most X region. If there's one or fewer outside, oops, yeah, that's where I want it, then we can say that this is actually an X region, right? Like, I feel like I've written this rule before somewhere. But if I did, it's not general enough. I think actually it's this rule. It's the more general version of this. Let's add this rule and then see what's the deal, like compare these two for me. I know they're all out of order now, but the order doesn't really mean anything. So the difference is, in this case we're saying, if there's X of them that have to be crammed inside, and is that a one or fewer or exactly one? It's impossible to tell. I think it must be a 1, because 1 or fewer would be crammed way further to the left, right? Yes, this is a 1. So if there's an X and an X plus 2K with only room for 1 outside, then it must be X, right? But this, I think, handles that much more neatly, right? I mean, I could, for example, say this is 1 or fewer, and that's better. But it's, well, yeah, I think I just don't like this rule. Get rid of it. And get rid of the episode. I guess we made some more progress. Did we happen to pick up any new ones? Oh, by the way, I finally got the latest update that had some stuff I'd been talking about, which happened, you know, weeks ago at the time of the video release, but at the time of recording, it's all pretty new. Yeah, this was a solid chunk of new stuff. So it's changed the order it does these in because players, myself included, sort of feel like, you know, larger puzzles, you're more likely to have success going to a larger puzzle than a more complex one because you don't even have rules to deal with the type of clues that show up in the more complex one. So we changed the order this happens in. I haven't counted how many more of these we've done, but it's a nice chunk. So anyway, I'll let this finish off camera. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.